Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitchious Podcast. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously. Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC, Katie motherfucking Boyd. And on today's episode of the Ambitchious Podcast, I have BB, Big Bernard, in the house for the first time since we've been doing the new installments of the Ambitchious Podcast.
That's right.
Welcome, BB.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And are you excited about what we're going to be talking about today?
I am, because I love money.
I love money. Money loves us.
Oh, that's a nice song.
I know, right? I made it up myself. We're going to be talking about why you're a broke ass hoe. So today is all about why you're the broke ass hoe. So I'm not going to sit here and fucking apologize to you and have you be crybaby tits and be like, oh, Katie's so mean. She's so mean.
I love the crybaby tits. That's great.
Oh my, I don't like the crybaby tits.
I mean,
they're fucking annoying.
I love that saying, crybaby tits.
Because just get it in your head. It's like these just sad crybaby tits.
Crybaby tits, not good.
I'm just over it. Everybody comes to me, they're like, you're so mean, Katie. You're so triggering. And it's like, dude, look in the fucking mirror about why you're being fucking triggered, because obviously when you look in the mirror, you see a broke ass motherfucking hoe.
Well, this is ambitious, right? So it's not like we're going to, pat your bum to get what you want to do. I mean, it's ambitious. You got to get up and move and do things, right?
You got to do the do.
And have accountability.
And if you don't do the do, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
But don't cry baby tits to me about it.
No crybaby tits.
Fucking whiners. Fucking whiners.
Oh.
So Matt and I compiled all the reasons that we kind of feel why people are broke. And both he and I have both been culprit to many of the things on this list.
Many of the things on the list I have done.
So don't think that we're perfect and whatever. We still actually do some of the shit here every so often.
Yeah.
When we're feeling a little not so fresh.
Not so fresh. And also it's like, we've been there. I've been there and done all of these things and learned. I hope you learned from it so you don't have to experience as much pain as I went through.
Oh, both of us have gone through so much financial pain. So much financial pain.
Big time.
We've paid the piper.
The piper has been paid.
I don't want to pay that motherfucker anymore.
No, I'm not paying the piper anymore. I give up on the piper.
But remember, once you're put on notice and you know better, you have to do better. Because if you don't do better, then you're just a crybaby tits.
Crybaby tits.
And you're the opposite of being ambitious.
So true.
Right?
Yeah, that's the opposite. Crybaby tits, ambitious. Totally different things. Yes. Totally different things.
Oh my God. All right. So we're just going to get into this shit. And in the meantime, if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, Katie's so mean, and you fucking email me or you DM me or you inbox me, I'm going to put your little stupid queefy thing into a file of people that I like to make fun of.
You're freaking brutal.
No,
I thought I have it bad here.
I'm brutal.
You are brutal.
No, I literally have a Gmail folder.
Yeah.
That's called Crybaby Tits.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm
awesome.
serious.
That's awesome.
And every so often when I want to laugh and I want to see how fucking pathetic people are, I go into the Crybaby Tits file and I just read their emails and I go, you dumb bitch. And it just makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah, there you go. Crybaby tits.
Crybaby fucking tits file. I should start letting out some crybaby tits files out to people so they can actually see this is a real fucking thing.
It's a thing. Unfortunately, right? It's a thing,
All right, Matt.
All right.
Get some fucking Geritol.
I'll get the Geritol.
It's like you're fucking crybaby tits.
I just had a
my
birthday. I'm not crybaby tits.
Matt's 55 years old.
Yes, I am.
His pubic hair is white, whiter than his teeth.
Yeah, whiter than my teeth?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Do
you remember the day that your pubic hair was sticking out straight because you were using
We're
that?
talking about money right now, aren't we?
I know, but I just had a flashback in my mind where I saw your pubic hair standing straight up like
I don't know. I used some kind
the guy from Back to the Future.
I used some kind of a new soap. For God's sakes, it like invigorated any kind of hair on my body.
Was it soap on a rope?
It wasn't soap on a rope. It was a very good soap, but apparently, down there it likes to get things going.
Going?
Matt, going like it was.
The bush was bigger than the prick.
It was like a freaking. Well, I don't know about that, but
no, I mean you have a big
crazy.
Bernard, but like The bush was at least 2 inches longer than your ding dong.
And talking about money, let's talk about some money things.
God. Well, we're talking about some silver pieces in your fucking boxer briefs. Oh my God. I almost passed out when I saw that thing. I was like, Jesus Christ, who am I married to? Einstein?
Yes, you are.
It looked like Einstein.
Well, I get something going for me.
You know when you're a little kid, you put your hands on that thing. It's like the electricity in the little circle, and your hair goes up straight.
Yes,
that's literally what happened to your bush.
It happens. You know, I thought it was 1975, and I just let it go.
Oh, my God. It was like the crying game, let me tell you. I don't know how I got on your bush, but...
leave it alone.
I know, I'm looking at your pants, and it looks a little puffy down there. Not for good reasons. All right, why are you a broke hoe? I want you actually to listen to everything we say today. And then I want you to get out a notebook and I want you to write down every freaking thing that we say that you do. And I want to prove to you that you can change this. Because on the next podcast, Big Bush Bernard and I are going to be here.
Is there anything nice you can say about me?
No.
To you
this is why we have you on, so we can...
Just to beat the shit out of me.
B3, Big Bush Bernard.
Big Bush Bernard.
Big Bush Bernard and I are going to come back next week, and we're going to give you all the ways to fix yourself being a broke hoe. Or just keep being a broke hoe, but don't come to me and say, like, I can't afford to work with you because I will put you in the crybaby tits file.
Yes. You don't want to go in that file.
No, it's bad. It's really good. Fucking... And there's thousands of emails in there, by the way.
From your whole career.
Oh, yeah, from my whole career.
Tits.
Thousands and thousands and thousands. Oh, my God.
1989.
Oh, come on, Matt. I was 8. Give me a break.
You probably had a crybaby's tits back then.
Oh, yeah. I always thought people were crybaby tits. Even when I was a little kid, I was like, this isn't right. You're being a victim. I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it.
Yeah,
when people just complained about their little shitty lives.
Stop complaining. Do something about it.
Or not.
But
just shut the fuck up.
You're brutal.
No, but it's true. Katie, I'm talking to myself. Matthew.
Yes.
I told you, the bitch is back.
I noticed this. Yes, around the house.
Oh, you?
I can definitely say yes. The bitch is back.
Matt and I were driving the other night to go have dinner.
Like Elton John, the bitch is back. The song. We should just have it blaring.
The bitch is back in town. Who sang that song? The boys are back in town.
Oh, I don't know that one. But,
that wasn't
Elton John.
I'm sorry. That wasn't.
The bitch is back in town.
That wasn't El DeBarge enough for you.
The bitch is back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's Elton John. I'm gonna have to look up that song now. I love Elton.
The bitch is back in town. I already told you, but we were driving the other night to go have dinner. Yeah. And remember, I was just like fucking screaming the whole ride there.
All the way.
Just complaining about everybody. Like, this person, this fucker, I'm going to kick this person's ass. And then like someone would drive by me and I'm like, fuck you.
And I'm just like this. Like, it's better somebody else than me. So I know I'm going to have a good dinner tonight or whatever we're going to do because it's not me.
We had a great
dinner.
And
it's focused on other people, which is fine.
Matt likes when I push my anger towards others and he doesn't get the lashing.
I just get all the love that night. I'm like, oh, this is awful. These people are brutal. Keep it going, Katie. Focus on that. Don't focus on my flaws.
You're an asshole. All right, you ready, BB?
I am ready.
All right. So the first reason why you are a broke ass hoe is you have no clear-cut financial goals and no direction, right?
Yes.
So when Matt and I make our financial goals, we literally sit down and we say, within a year from now, this is what we're going to achieve, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So your financial goals could be like 1 year from now to be debt-free.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about good debt. I'm talking about bad debt.
Right.
We're going to get into that.
We'll get into all the
in a little bit. Or I'm going to double my income in a year. Or I'm going to save for a new car or a new home. Or it could be three-dimensional shit.
Absolutely. But pay for it or get a really, really low interest rate. And it's, it works for you that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people don't even know what a low interest rate is.
Yeah, well, we'll go over some of those things.
Thank God BB's here because he's going to keep it like, he's going to keep it really straight.
I'm going to keep it strict.
Yes.
So you don't get to be a crybaby tits on this one.
No. But you have no clear-cut financial goals.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's a fucking problem?
You have to name it to claim it. You have to know where you're going, right? You can't just hope that you get there. 98% of the world is hoping.
And hoping and wishing
not
and
good.
Dreaming.
And those hopes don't work without action in a plan, right? You have to have that action in a plan.
Who is wishing for?
Who's wishing for?
Yeah, who wishes?
On a star? We were trained by Disney.
No, but who is wishing? Who wishes, Matt?
Who?
Loses.
Oh, I don't know. I was going to say that. I mean, everyone has a wish, but a wish with some effort works a lot better.
It's like, remember one of my favorite things? I'm like, answer the fucking question, Big Bernard.
I'm thinking about a person. Who is it?
Loses. Loses fucking wish. Losers go, I wish I could.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I could.
What is it? I wish I could, or someday.
Oh,
Someday.
someday.
Someday I'm going to do that.
I know.
One of these days.
And one of these days.
One of these days, someday.
Doesn't it all sound like a sad fucking country song?
Some days lead to where? Nowhere.
0 days.
0 days.
And one day, like Wayne Dyer said, it's the last day you put your pants on.
Oh, not a good day.
It's your last day you put your pants on, and then you're DONE.
Yeah.
And like I've been saying on the Ambitchious Podcast, and just like in everything I've been talking about lately, is like I really do believe that hell is meeting the person that you could have been if only you tried.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Not good.
That scares the piss out of me.
Scares the piss out of you, I'll tell you that. And also, like last week was my birthday, right? So I was like,
my God, we have to talk about
I'm going to talk about
BB's
it
birthday.
Bit, and
narcissism
I was like,
at its finest.
I kind of like, it's like, that's our new year, right? So when it's your birthday, Katie, or any of your Ambitchious,
that is your new year.
That's your new year, not January 1st.
No.
Unless you were born on January 1st. But if it's your first year now to really say, and I'm like, even like, okay, I got 51 more weeks, right? To achieve what I want to do for the year, right? So am I on the right track? Am I looking at in the right direction? Am I making the right moves, right? So you can measure it week by week and be like, how many weeks do you want to waste? You know what I mean? And not going towards your goal.
Most of these bitches have already wasted like all their weeks.
You know something? And I wasted weeks too. And now I'm getting older. I'm like, I don't want to waste any more weeks.
No.
I want to make sure that I'm on track, right? So on every single week, okay, now I have 51. Oh, now I have 49, so forth and so on, going down the line.
Right.
Right.
If you hear any tapping, it's because Matt doesn't understand that when you whack a table when you're talking, it picks up on your podcast.
That was me.
Fucking, I'm gonna wrap this fucking cord around your neck and step on your back.
Wait a second, that's my last week.
Jesus,
Katie
Lord
killed me.
Joseph.
You know what happens? Anything happens to me, you know what happened. Katie finally had it and took care of me.
Ed Sullivan, if you're listening, please cut this out of the podcast before we let it out. But isn't it crazy, though, that 98% of the world are actually broke?
Yes.
98%. That means they have no money. Mm-hmm. They have no financial freedom whatsoever. They're tied to jobs that literally, if they died, would get rid of that, would give a fuck about them. Oh, poor Charlie died.
On to the next one.
On to the next. They would hire the next person within 24 hours. And 60% of, not the world, but the United States, because it's even worse when you talk about the whole world.
Right.
But 60% of the United States of America have savings.
Wow.
I mean, no savings.
No savings.
No
60%.
savings. So only 40% of the country have savings, but it doesn't mean they have millions of dollars in a bank account. It could be like $200.
Right. Or less.
Yeah. Can you fucking imagine?
When I read that, I was like, wow, that's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. So just me saying that, it's like, wow.
It's pretty scary.
And 90% of the world is owned by maybe 10% of the population, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to be on the 90% side? Or do you want to be on the 10% side? 10%. I don't want to own anyone, but I want to run shit.
Be able to do what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Your microphone's getting a little like limp dicky.
Yeah,
huh?
I saw that. It was falling down a little bit. It's going towards my bush.
Oh, my God. You might lose it in there. That was a very expensive microphone.
Big microphone. We better find it.
Oh my God, it's like a black hole in the middle of the fucking Milky Way galaxy. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
All right, so the first one, obviously, we said you have no clear-cut financial goals. You have no direction. The next one is you have never prepared for an emergency, right? So you have no money for car. You have no money for dental. You have no money in an emergency fund. You have nothing.
Yeah, not good.
Isn't that scary?
That's scary.
And now I'm not saying that we should all be like, oh, prepare for the worst, because I'm not a doomsday prepper.
No.
But like some people have like their car breaks down. Or they get a fucking need like a tooth pulled. Yeah. They're fucked. Their
screwed.
Whole world will just like.
Well, my parents' old saying used to be what? Every time Christmas came, oh, Joe, my dad, God rest his soul, my mom. But they didn't know what they were doing. And, thank God they loved me. They knew that, right? And they took great care of me. But, oh, my God, every time it was Christmas time or something, my mom and dad would go, oh, now the car's going to break down right before Christmas. And all of a sudden, every year, the car broke down right before. And they would, if the car broke down, that was a problem. That was like, okay, now we got to not get good Christmas presents. I was worried.
That's all you fucking cared about.
I was worried about me.
You are
I was worried about my presents coming in.
You are a broke asshole.
And we shouldn't have even been buying any Christmas presents.
Oh, my God. But it's true. My parents would be, too. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
My mother would be like, oh, Jesus. Every year, the same thing happens. And then there it would go.
They're programming it.
I'm choking on my own spit because it's so true.
And I'm sitting there getting nervous as a bastard myself because I'm like, I'm not going to get any damn Christmas presents.
But
it doesn't sound good.
Do you think, though, and we're going to talk about generational, like ancestral, like poor money
language
mindset and all that stuff later on in the podcast,
Yeah.
but do you think that in a lot of ways that you adopted some of that?
Absolutely.
I did too.
Absolutely. And I had to work on it every day.
I still do.
It will come up because it was ingrained, right? Who you are at 7 years old or 8 years old is very detrimental to you. If it's bad or good or whatever the case may be, it's very important, right? To make sure that
hold on to your microphone. Just pick it up and hold on to it, for Christ's sake.
I think you're right. I'm gonna
pretend
do that.
you're share.
I'm going to pretend I'm share. So where was I? Oh, what you say or what you're around when you're a young kid sticks with you forever, right?
Absolutely.
So I've been beating it back like unbelievably for a very, very long time. And sometimes it rears its ugly head. I have to recognize it and work on it.
Oh, I've heard some shit come out of your mouth.
Sometimes it happens.
And I'm just like, what are you doing?
Especially if you're in a bad state, then it all comes in, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a bad place.
When you allow your vibrational frequency to get low and you start doing like the old shit, all the old languaging comes up like, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
Stop spending this money, blah, 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 blah. I know. It's 100% true. So you have anything else to add for the emergency fund?
So you mentioned savings, right?
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this before. The number one thing with savings, you have to make it a systematic savings plan.
Yes.
And the reason why I say that is if you have a job, let's say for sake of conversation, you have to say, all right, take $10 a week out. I don't know what it is, but if you won't notice the $10 it's gone if it's automatically taken out. Like the government knows this. That's why they take your taxes right before you get it. You get what's left over.
Motherfuckers.
Right? So thank God for the government, though, because they take care of us. I mean, we got all these different things.
Don't go there with me today.
I don't like taxes, but on the other hand, it's like you have to have
I don't want the
things.
government taking care of us.
I don't get taken care of, but I'm taking care of everybody else.
Just make sure that like we don't get bombed.
Yes.
And that we can drive on the roads.
Absolutely.
Other than that, I don't need your money. I don't need your $600, whatever, during the pandemic. Like, you can eat my asshole.
Yeah.
Government.
That's because you're ambitious. You don't need these things.
No. I'm the president of my own motherfucking United States of America.
And you have to make it so it's automatic. You get the money taken out. It goes into a savings plan or a 401k or whatever your company can do. And they can do this for you. And
if you're an entrepreneur, you can do it for yourself.
You can do it for yourself.
Because I don't have anyone paying me. I pay myself. I'm an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
But I still take money out of my shit and I put it into the S&P 500 stock account and for my retirement and all that. Yeah.
These different things. When it's automatic, you don't think about it and you don't touch it, right? And that's how I've been able to do it.
Yes.
Because if I have to go to the bank or go on my account and move money, well, you may do it, you may not do it, but it's almost like you don't even expect that money now because it's gone. It's gone into that savings account.
Exactly.
And the harder to get your money out of it, the better.
Yes.
Right? So you want to try to lock up your money.
I love when all the little girls that I go to for like my hair and my nails and my this and my that, they'll talk to me about money, right? Because they know I'm a rich bitch, and they'll be like, so what do I do? And I'll say, well, you should put money into an S&P 500 stock account, and I'll kind of like give them a little bit of like financial push.
Yes.
And the first thing that they'll say is there penalties to take the money out? And I'm like, if you're already thinking about taking the fucking money out of your S&P 500 stock account, don't fucking do it. Just be a broke ass slut for the rest of your fucking life. Seriously.
I mean, what do they need it for? It just should be money that you don't need, right?
Right.
Money, especially if you put it in
Well,
a
they
stock.
usually are like, I gotta buy that Louis Vuitton bag, which we're gonna get into that also on the podcast. But that's just broke ass home mentality.
Yeah.
If you're still living with your mommy and daddy,
and you're buying a Louis Vuitton bag,
you should get a good cunt punt across the fucking field.
Not good.
Just saying. You ever see a cunt punt?
I know what that is.
My sister did that to me when I was a little kid.
I remember that story very well.
My punani's still black and blue from it. Thanks, Lindsay. I love you.
She was vicious.
Fucking vicious.
She's tough.
Well, I used to call her halitosis because her breath smelled so bad from her retainer.
God, poor Lindsay.
I probably deserved it.
Yeah, and you stole her shirt or something, right?
It was a Tommy Girl shirt that she got for free when she bought the Tommy Girl perfume. So I put it.
You were wearing it?
Yeah, I was wearing it. And she was like, that's my shirt. And I'm like, bitch, who cares? And she was like, ah! And she just cunt punted me.
And she nailed you.
I can still feel it just up in my throat. All right, the next one is you don't have a budget. And when people go, I don't know how to budget. Dude, Google it. Dave Ramsey's amazing.
Yep.
Love him for the whole budgeting thing.
Absolutely.
There's so many things on Pinterest. Just Google it. How to make a fucking budget. It's not that hard.
Yeah, it's money coming in, money going out, and then what's left over.
Yeah, and there's no budget because everybody's working for the weekend. Remember that Loverboy song? Is that the most disgusting, low vibrational frequency plebeian song you've ever heard in your entire fucking life?
I don't work for the weekend. I usually work on the weekends.
Me too.
I usually have something going on the weekends that I have to do.
No shit.
You know?
But isn't that what the whole world does?
Yeah,
they work their shitty job,
and then they're off for 2 days.
Yep,
and then they're what do you call it? Biting their lip and clawing at the day on Sunday night. They're like, oh my God, I have to show up to that place again on Monday morning.
The hellhole.
The hellhole. Yeah,
Isn't that someone just said that recently?
Somebody just said it. I forget who said it, but it was like, oh my God, I got to show up to that hellhole in 2 more days. I'm like.
So we're going to teach you a little bit how to budget on the next podcast, but if you don't have a budget, you're probably a broke ass hoe.
Yeah.
The next one is, what the fuck are you celebrating?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you fucking celebrating?
When I was really broke, I celebrated a lot.
A lot. I was always partying.
I had nothing to celebrate.
Oh my God, I was always popping bottles.
I mean, I was happy to be alive, but it was like when the bill came, not good, right?
When we were broke, we would go to the club.
Yep.
We would get bottle service with all of our trashy plebeian low-life friends.
Bottle service like $500.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Just to drink a $40 bottle of Grey Goose.
Yeah, just to say, look at me.
It's gross.
Look at me.
Fucking,
I'm sitting here.
Well, how stupid were we?
I'm broke.
Yeah. I would also buy all my friends dinners.
Yep.
Because I wanted them to like me. So I would go out and say, okay, guys, let's go to such and such, such and such. And then I'd buy everybody dinner.
Oh.
Didn't have a fucking dollar to my name.
And you
put it all on credit cards.
Oh.
Clothes every day. Clothes to impress all these fucking people.
Yeah.
Shots.
And now the people we hang around with and we our good friends and who we
our peer groups.
They don't even care if we had a new bag. What the hell do they care about a bag for?
Fucking bag.
That's not exciting.
No.
Or going to spend money.
No.
They don't want to spend money on anything
No.
unless they're going to give them something back.
My wealthiest friends dress like the trashiest people.
They don't care about stuff
right?
like that. No.
My wealthiest friends dress like shit. They're like, oh my God. Not like shit. They always look cute.
Yeah.
But they'll say like, oh my God, did you look at my shirt? I got it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm like,
are you
fucking
I only
kidding me?
paid X amount of dollars for this and it looks freaking great, right?
Or they've had it since like 1989 and it's vintage and they're like, I'm bringing it back. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
I have friends that could have like, 50 carat diamond rings and they wear a diamond ring from Marshalls.
Yeah.
Because they're like, who cares? I don't want to lose. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what real wealth is all about.
Absolutely.
So when you see all these girls who are like dressed head to toe, look at Lisa Rinna. Let's talk about Lisa Rinna for a second because I love me some Housewives.
Oh, I love her. Yeah.
She always is in head to toe Fendi, head to toe Louis, Gucci, Balenciaga, fucking Yves Saint Laurent, all the shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How in debt is she?
I hear she's in big debt.
Big debt.
Yeah, big debt.
Right?
Like
so she's
$5 million in debt.
So she's working her tits off. She's on QVC every fucking weekend, selling her dusters.
She has to.
Selling her lip gloss, selling her eyelashes, selling her hair pieces.
Yeah.
Not because she wants to, and it's fun
she's
for
working,
her.
And she's up there now. She's getting older, right?
Yeah.
So she shouldn't be having to hustle.
And her husband's like 75.
She shouldn't have to hustle like that.
No, if you're fucking 60-something years old and you're still hustling your tits off, you did not make good decisions.
Unless you're passionate about it. I'm sure she's not that passionate about QVC.
Yeah, but Warren Buffett is 85 years old, and he gets up every morning, goes to McDonald's, gets his little Happy Meal. He lives in the same fucking house that he grew up in.
Yeah.
He's not making all this, he's not doing all this crazy shit.
No.
Because he knows it's a waste.
It's a waste, and it's not him. He didn't acquire all that wealth by being, just blowing money and acting crazy.
So it's like, dude, what are you celebrating? Celebrate when it's time to fucking celebrate. Like, when I have milestones in my business, like I said to Matt, okay, Matt, I have this launch. If I sell X amount of dollars on this launch, I'm going to get us the first class apartment on Air France to go to Paris.
Yeah.
Which is like an apartment.
Yeah. Oh, it's
which
beautiful.
we did right before COVID happened.
Yep.
We didn't end up getting to go but I did it for that reason.
You did.
And you were like, babe, if you do this, whatever you want to do, you can do.
That's celebrating.
That's celebrating.
It's like I did the work. There's money left over. I have all the things I want to do.
Yes.
And this is going to be a life-changing event.
Yes.
Right? I pay for more experiences than things.
Right.
Like I like to experience things. Like, either a trip or something like that. I'm not really a big car guy. I have my same car. I just run it into the ground until it's gone.
Oh my God. When I first started dating Matt, his car, he had a big Lexus truck. It smelled like farts. It was like a rolling trash trash heap. He would just back up into fucking things, and he was like, fuck it, who
Who
cares?
cares? The thing had 250,000 miles on it. And guess who appreciate it? All of my
All
friends
your rich friends.
that are rich.
They
Like,
think
oh
it's
my God,
hilarious.
how much more can you get out of that thing? That's beautiful. You haven't had a car payment, or you didn't have to come up with any money to buy a car or anything for all that time. And I go, no, the minute I paid it off, that money, if I didn't pay cash, that money goes where? Like it goes into my savings account or my stock account.
Yeah.
One of the two, right? So let's say it's a $300 payment. I don't owe that anymore.
Yep.
Guess what?
Put
There
it towards
goes.
something else.
I move it.
Remember when we went to Turks and Caicos and we had our really wealthy friends that owned a home over there and we were staying at their home and they had this little shitbox beater car and we would get in the shitbox beater car and we would drive all around the island and they thought it was the best fucking thing. And I remember being in the car being so embarrassed because I was much younger.
Much property and they have so much and they're like, this is the greatest thing. I go, well, I'm not that far divided from when I was driving this freaking thing for real.
It was so
I wasn't, but I thought it was funny.
No, but
for them.
rich people love shit like that.
They love that shit.
They love shit like that.
They love using the broke stuff.
I remember
Must be something to it. I don't know what it is, but I was like, well, I'm not that far removed from this vehicle. Maybe in another 10 years. I was younger back then.
I remember I had a friend that lived in New York City in this beautiful high-rise apartment, and it was like really, really, really expensive. And every day she would come outside, and there was this guy. He was dressed like a bum. He had his little like coffee cup, whatever. He would just hold his little coffee cup, and every day she would go and get him coffee and bring him a sandwich, and she'd give him money and all this shit. She just felt so bad for this guy, and they ended up becoming friends, like because he would stand there every day. And then one day, like 3 months later, he wasn't there, and she said to her doorman, like, "Oh, where's so and so?" And he's like, "Oh, Mr. O." And she's like, "What do you mean, Mr. O?" He's like, "Oh yeah, he owns this building."
Wow.
He owned the fucking
building. Well, that's kind of
building.
weird that he's out there trying to get change.
No, but he wasn't trying to get change.
He wasn't?
No, he was just chilling
He
there
was
talking
just
to the
chilling.
fucking doorman.
Oh, okay. I thought he
and
had a
she
cup.
thought, no, she wasn't like, he was drinking fucking coffee.
He was just drinking coffee. Okay.
And she would like put money in it. And he would be like, okay.
Why are you putting money in my coffee cup?
She didn't look inside the coffee cup. It was high. And do
Oh,
I have to
my
really
God.
go and elaborate on the story?
Okay, I didn't know this.
Honestly, you could never write a movie because you would just fuck everything up. You would fuck everything up. You'd be like, why is his hand holding to the left to the side of it?
I thought he was I thought he was begging for money.
No,
out
he
there.
just looked like a beggar.
Okay.
And he had his coffee cup.
Got
And every
it.
so often, in New York, no one puts a lid on a coffee cup.
Yes, I
They give you like
understand
the
that.
old fucking coffee cup. Like if you burn your dick.
So you're telling me the change would splash into the cup?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted
And he
to
would
know.
just kind of look at her like, all right, more for the pile.
What for the pile?
But she didn't know. She was like
Wow.
buying him lunch. And in his mind, he's probably like, oh, she just wants to be my friend.
He wants to be my friend.
And then one day he wasn't there. And she's like, oh my God, is he dead? Like what happened to him? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, he had a meeting.
He had a meeting. That's
He was
great.
the owner of the fucking building.
Yeah, he's probably out there so proud of himself that he owned the building. It
He's
was
not
probably
walking down
gorgeous.
Fifth
Yeah.
Avenue with his Balenciaga and his Louis Vuitton and his Chanel and his fucking Louboutin and all that crap.
I
'Cause
forget who said it, but it was if you're wearing it on your ass, it's not an asset.
Oprah.
It was Oprah.
Oprah said
Okay,
it. If you're
Oprah
wearing it
said
on your
I
ass,
love Oprah.
it's not an asset.
It's not an asset.
Nope.
Yep. If it's a car, a piece of jewelry, and if it's on your ass,
Depreciating.
It's not an asset. Yeah.
It's depreciating. Absolutely. So what the fuck are you celebrating? The next one is you have no thoughts of the future. Everything is fucking YOLO. You know what YOLO means,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What does it mean?
Like living for now, right?
You only live once.
Oh, you only live
That's
once.
It's
Okay.
an acronym.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You only live once.
Matt's like, living La Vida Loca.
I
All right,
actually
Ricky
thought
Martin.
I actually thought that's what it was. I
But
love
like-
Mickey Martin.
But how many people are just like YOLO?
Too many people.
98% of
YOLO.
the human population.
Everyone's YOLO. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I always talk about there's this thing, and I showed it to you once, and you're like, oh my God, Katie, how did you know this when you were a little kid? There used to be this little cartoon. It was the ant and the grasshopper.
I didn't even know it was a cartoon probably in the 30s.
Yeah, I would say the
it
30s.
was really old. It was
Really?
almost like it was close to Steamboat Willie.
It was. No,
Right?
it was
It
right
was
around
right on that
Steamboat
time,
Willie
right?
time because it was a black and white cartoon.
Yep.
And I remember watching it when I was really little, and I knew, like, in my mind, I was like, oh my God, I never ever want to be the grasshopper.
The grasshopper was kind of
a loser. He was a bum. He was like 98% of the human population. So what the cartoon was about, in essence, was there was all these little ants, and they were getting ready for the winter. So they were like getting all their fruit, getting all their stockpiling everything, making
Working.
sure. Yeah, they were working like ants,
working,
right?
saving, investing in their future,
Yeah.
the winter. Yeah.
Because they knew there's summer times of life and there's winter times of life.
Yeah,
they knew
absolutely.
like
that's just how it rolls.
The seasons.
And then the grasshopper was like, what are y'all? What are you? And that's how he talked too.
I remember.
He was like, what are y'all ants doing? Have fun, sing and dance. And he had a little fiddle and he would say, the world owes me a living.
Oh, that was a song.
This is like etched in my brain for the rest of my life.
Yep.
The world owes me a living.
I remember.
So what happened was, okay, so the ants are like, all right, dude, the queen's going to kick my ass.
Yeah, I got to work. I can't be dancing with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fucking fall comes and the little...
It's getting a little chilly.
I
see a scarf blowing in the wind a little bit.
And he's like eating a leaf and the leaf kind of flew away and he's like, oh, I'm so hungry.
And then winter came.
And winter came and he's trudging through the snow and he's almost dying and then he goes and knocks on the door of the ants, and all the ants are inside. They're eating soup. It's warm. They're dancing.
Having a good time.
And the ants come and bring him in and like warm him up and feed him and whatever. And the queen was like, you can't stay here unless you do something. Like, what kind of valuable skills do you have? And he's like, oh, Queenie, I can play the fiddle and dance. And he became like the entertainment for the ants. So he did give back for what they did.
Yes.
But how many people are the fucking grasshopper where they're just like, drink, eat, spend money, no savings. They don't think about the future. They don't think about shit.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that 21, 22, 23, even some people my age, you're going to be 80 years old. You're going to be 90 years old. And with modern medicine, by the time that we are older, we could be living well into our 100, 20, 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yes.
What are you going to fucking do? The government's not going to take care of your ass for that long.
No way.
They want you to die. They do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt's like, oh, God, Katie's getting dark. The government doesn't want to fucking pay all that money.
No.
And you think that there's going to be fucking, what's that
Well, they
shit
had
called?
Social Security until
Social
65.
Security.
Yet when they started Social Security, 65, not many people made it to 65.
No shit.
So they had to pay out shit.
And what would they want you to do? They would want you to go do what with your life when you turn 65? What do you do?
Retire.
Yeah, and then when do you die?
Usually right after you retire.
Because why?
Because retirement is a joke.
Trap.
It's a trap.
It's a
right?
trap.
So retirement is really like if you don't have a reason to get up anymore,
you have no purpose.
You have no purpose. So nobody retires if you see that they're wealthy or whatever. They're always doing something.
Yes.
They may leave one company or whatever, but then they'll start something else.
Right.
They'll keep their hand in something.
I never want to retire.
Yeah.
And I know you don't want to retire either.
No, I don't want to retire. My retirement is I get to do what I want when I want.
Yes.
And I always want to be working. I always want to be doing something, contributing or creating something.
Yes.
But
the government doesn't want to pay your Social Security. And I don't even think that when we're older, we're going to have Social Security like we have now.
No.
Do you think we will?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Or they'll bump it to 80.
Oh, fuck. Damn,
right?
kid.
They'll be like, oh, you can get your Social Security if you're 80.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So hang in there.
So you have no thoughts of the future. The next one is you have really fucking expensive habits. And what do we call it? Big hat, no cattle.
Yes.
Explain big hat, no cattle to people out there in Ambitchious land.
Big hat is like the very expensive suit, the very expensive purse,
the Rolex
watch, everything, and then nothing in the bank account. You don't own anything. You don't really have anything. You're probably renting.
Yes.
And you don't have anything to really have. So you have no cattle.
Right.
The cattle is, you have the big hat, no cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that though.
Yeah.
How many people do you know are all big hat, no cattle?
Most.
Right?
Most.
So if you're renting an apartment, if you're leasing your car, what else? What else are bad habits like the rental type of things?
Paying credit cards.
Paying credit
like
card.
the minimum with credit cards. Paying having credit card debt, and it's not business debt where you can't deduct the interest.
Right.
Or you can't deduct anything for it. So the government's not your partner.
Right.
So personal debt is bad debt.
Yes.
Personal debt.
So I have all these little girls that, of course, I work with, and they're like, once I pay off my credit card, then I can do A, B, C, and D. And I'm like, why do you fucking have credit card debt?
Yeah. What were you buying?
What the fuck are you buying?
You probably don't even remember what you bought.
I'll tell you what they're buying.
What?
Louis Vuitton backpacks, Christian Louboutin shoes, Mercedes.
Yeah.
Fucking BMWs.
Now imagine if they own that stock. Imagine if all the money that they spent on Louis Vuitton stock, which has done very, very well, by the way.
Yep. And it's been around for hundreds of years.
It's been around forever. And, if they bought the stock shares instead of the stuff that you're wearing on your ass, which is not an asset.
Right.
Right? I mean, it would be a big game changer.
Yeah.
Huge.
100%.
Huge.
So if you have all these expensive assets, like you eat out every night, right? I see all these girls that I'll go and, do stuff with them, or I'll just watch them on Instagram and stuff. And they're like, every fucking meal is eaten out. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. every meal, right?
Yep.
And then it's like all about like the clothes and the shoes and the this and the that, and they're going on these lavish vacations, and they're putting the fucking vacations on 6 and 7 and 8 credit cards.
Not good. Like,
what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you have all, and I'm not talking about like you can't afford a Starbucks or fucking avocado toast. I'm not talking about shit like that. I'm talking about the bullshit, the cars, the booze, the partying, the Louis Vuitton, right? The Chanel, the this thing, the that thing, and all this crapola. You're fucking living with your mommy and daddy, or you're renting an apartment. You're not rich.
No.
So stop calling yourself rich just because you have a Mercedes, just because you have a BMW, just because you have a Range Rover. You're not rich.
Yeah, right.
Because rich people don't give a fuck about that.
No.
Rich people only
get that shit. You can't go to the bank with your Louis Vuitton and say, hey, I want to take out a loan to buy a company. And what's your collateral, Mr. Babine? Well, I have this Louis Vuitton bag. And, okay, show me your assets. Okay, and show me your cash flow. Not happening.
Yeah, they'll laugh you right out of the bank.
Yeah.
The next one is you have a lot of bad debt. So there is a difference between good and bad debt.
Yes.
Right? So good debt is like if you had a mortgage on a home, let's say for sake of conversation, where maybe you didn't live in that home, but you use it as a rental property.
Yes.
Right? That's good debt.
Very good debt.
Right?
Yep.
What else is some good debt?
Some good debt is if it's very low interest. Like, like we have a mortgage on one of our properties that's 3%. I am never paying that off.
Never.
I don't care. I love 3%, and the bank hates my guts.
Hates you every month.
They want to just
emailing Matt.
They want me to get into some other deal with them or do something else, and I'm like, I will never give up my 3%.
Never.
I love it because I know I can at least make 8, 9, 10% in the stock market or with another investment. Why would I ever pay down 3%?
Never. Zero.
And you'll probably never see 3% again as long as we live.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. And like, let's talk about bad debt. So this is obviously money borrowed for depreciating assets.
Yes.
So what are some depreciating assets that everybody thinks is an asset?
The big thing is your home that you live in is not an asset.
Please, can you tell people about this? Because I get into fights with people. They're like, it's my home. It's an asset. And I'm like,
it's a home, but
it's a money. It's a fucking liability. It's a money pit.
An asset pays you. A liability takes money from you.
Yes.
Right? So if you're paying a mortgage, you're paying electricity, you're paying gas, you're paying heat, all these different things. Something happens to you and you don't have any money or you don't have a job, guess what happens?
Shit out of luck.
You owe money on that. That's not an asset, right? If it's an asset, it's a stock, it is a rental property, it is maybe you wrote a book and you get royalties or anything like that.
TV show royalties.
Anything that pays you money is an asset. If you own a martial arts studio like I do, all my clients are assets because every single one of them are paying me every single month.
Right. And just like in my company, all my clients are assets, but I don't have any overhead.
Right.
Because 90% of my company is virtual.
Right.
Right. So it's sometimes even a better asset because then we're
I didn't know it was a competition.
Yes, it's always a
competition. Why do you have to try to beat me down?
I love it.
All right.
I love it. No, I'm just busting your balls. But no, I use, we own a standalone building together. Yes. Your dojo's on the first floor, your martial arts company. Katie Boyd's and Fit Club is on the second floor. Right. And I still do use that for healing sessions and one-on-ones and bitchapalooza and things like that. But at the end of the day, if you said to me, hey, I'm going to sell this business, I would never have a problem with that because I could, 90% of my company is virtual.
I would sell the business maybe, but I wouldn't probably sell the building.
Yeah.
Because the building is a whole other thing.
No, that's a
very... What are you going to do with the money?
That's very good debt.
Something called capital gains I don't want to pay if I don't have to.
Will you please talk about capital gains quickly?
Capital gains.
Because people, again, they don't understand capital gains.
Capital gains is if I sell my home or I sell a building.
Yes.
All right.
Which is happening a lot right now because of the way that the market is.
If I don't take that money and repurchase another home or repurchase another building, then I have to pay Uncle Sam, 36-40%
Hell no.
of that money. So if it's $500,000, do the math. It's a lot of money.
Fuck you.
Right? So if it's $1 million, it's a lot of money.
And that's what's happening right now with everyone's like, I'm going to sell my house because the market is so good for sellers, and then they have nowhere to go.
And because the prices are still up, right up there, right?
Right.
So you have to take that. As long as the money is not liquidated, you won't pay the tax on it.
Right.
But the minute you sell cash out, I'm selling my house and I'm going to go drive around in an RV or whatever. Well, you're paying 40% tax on that money, on that house money.
And now let's talk about bad debt. So bad debt is Obviously, like we said before, depreciating assets. So it's your home, clothing,
Yes.
luxury goods,
Yes.
right? Like jewelry, watches,
Anything like that.
Cars.
Cars. Anything that
vacations,
those are out.
right?
Yeah.
All that stuff is bad debt.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that if you have a lot of money and you're like, I want to go on a fucking vacation to Greece for a month, fucking knock yourself out.
Absolutely, do it.
But not when you're a
we're here
broke
to live.
hoe.
We're here to live too. You
Right.
know? I mean, you want to be able to, like, we love travel.
Yes.
We love doing things. And
Yes.
we like nice things. But
Yeah, but we can afford it.
We buy the things.
Yes.
Right? Where years ago, I would rent the things on my credit card and pay 29%.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
there. And I was there. And, I went through a lot of pain, like when I was a kid.
Yes.
I had my car repossessed.
Yes.
I went through all these things that were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what do you call it, subscaris, where I was like, this sucks, right?
will
This
never happen
never
again.
happen again. And how do I get out of this? And I always had I always worked like 2 jobs, or I had
Me too.
a second income stream.
Yes, always.
Just in case, right? And plus I love to work. I love to be able to create and do things.
Totally,
Yeah.
100%. So for all of you girls that are like, I bought a bunch of stuff at Victoria's Secret because they told me I would get 15% off the first purchase of my brassieres, and then next month you're paying fucking 29% on all that shit.
Yeah.
That's
A
all
lot of money.
junk. It's junk.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So for your
absolutely.
fucking dirty drawers,
I used to like what you said.
you
If
paid
you
all
could
this money.
buy one of them when you can buy 4 of them.
Yes,
Right.
I actually
Or
wrote that in
10
my
of
book.
them.
If you can afford 10, then you can buy one.
One.
So if you want a freaking Maserati,
Yeah.
and it's $100,000, which is not, it's more, but it's a $100,000 car, you better be able to buy 10 fucking Maseratis.
Yeah.
Which means $1 million.
And when you buy that Maserati, guess what? The minute you drive it out, you're losing 25% on that car.
As soon as you
So
put your
just-
foot
you
on
just-
that
you
fucking
just
gas,
took, what do you call it? $25,000 and flush it down
flushed
the
it
toilet.
down the toilet, lit it on fire in your
Lit it on
backyard.
fire. So
Can
I
you
always buy
fucking
used
imagine?
cars.
I lease my cars because I'm a skank and I just
Plus,
can't.
you have a business. You can.
Yes, and I can write it off, which is awesome. Which a lot of my girls don't do. They don't understand that if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, you can pretty much write fucking anything off.
If you have a company, if it's a real corporation, LLC, or
Right,
something,
of course.
you can write a lot of things off.
And I'll say that to them, and they're like, "What?" I'm
or
like,
take a tax deduction.
right, right, absolutely. All right. So the next thing is, you spend money to impress people that you don't even fucking like in the first place,
Don't like them.
and you spend money that you don't have to impress people that you don't fucking like.
Not good.
Isn't that the most fucking stupid shit you've ever heard in your life?
People do it.
It's
People do it
gross.
all the time. Keep it up with the Joneses. It's been around since ever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The next thing is you don't pay yourself first. Let's talk about that, Matthew
Yeah.
Babine.
That's why anytime that you can set up automatic payments to yourself, that's awesome. Pay yourself first. Even if you owe bills, pay yourself first. And it will challenge you. Okay, well, if I don't have enough, guess what? I maybe needed to take another job, or I need to start a little
Side hustle.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, there's so many things, especially with the computer. I mean, I never had all those opportunities now. I mean, you can make some serious money.
No, I worked in the strip club.
Working part-time. I worked in the strip club, too. And let me tell you something. They're always constantly asking me back, but I'm like, no, I'm just too busy.
Matt was the headliner at the Golden Banana.
They wanted to see my bush.
They wanted to see his straight-haired bush.
Where's the straight-haired bush?
I don't understand how you're black and you have straight hair on your
I have,
bush.
well, I'm half and half, so I got a lot of going on here.
It's
You
weird.
know, I
very-
got some
but I know-
curls, and they got some straight hair.
No, I've never seen your bush like that, Matt.
It was the soap.
You
I
sure?
I'm telling you, it was the soap.
I think you
anyways,
stuck your finger in a light socket.
Moving on. Moving on to another.
So pretty much what Matt's saying is like, okay, so if you make, let's just say $4,000 a month,
Yeah.
right? You're going to pay yourself first,
Yep.
and then whatever you have left over,
You pay
then
your,
you
eat,
can
you pay your bills, all that stuff.
But don't eat, buy a Louis Vuitton bag, do all this shit, and then use the money that you have left over for your own self and to
Yes.
like pay your bills and all that stuff.
Yep.
But isn't it always the opposite?
Yeah.
They go,
everyone's-
well, I just bought a bunch of shit, and then whenever I have left over, that's what I live off of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you fucking high?
No. It's awful. Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with these people?
You'll never get ahead.
No,
If you
you'll
don't
be a
pay
broke
yourself
asshole
first.
for the rest
Yeah.
of your fucking life.
Yeah.
So you should be investing weekly or monthly.
Yep.
My favorite investment, just me personally, I'm not into Bitcoin. I'm not into any of that stuff because I'm like, I really listen.
I don't know anything about it.
There you go. And
if I don't know
I don't
anything
want
about
to.
it,
I don't want to
want
learn
it.
about it right now. That's not where my head space is at.
Right.
Or metaverse or any of this fucking weird shit.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Because like Warren Buffett always says, like I stay in my corners.
Right.
Right. And that's how I feel. Like I trust the S&P 500 stock account.
Yeah.
That's where I like to put my money.
And it outperforms most stocks by 80%.
Yes.
I mean, 80% of the time it outperforms.
And it's so easy. All you have to do is, like, what I do is every month I take a certain amount of money that I make, and I have it automatically withdrawn from my bank account that goes into the S&P 500 stock account, and it buys the top stocks of that month.
Yeah, the 500.
And sometimes it's high and sometimes it's low, but usually it all evens out at the end.
You'll make money.
You'll always make money. 110%. We're not going to do like a whole financial literacy Dave Ramsey S&P 500 stock account.
And I have to
today.
tell you that I am not a financial advisor.
No, we only play them on
television. I was just broke. And I know brokenness sucked.
Well, we were broke, but we also were smart enough to go to mentors who were older than us and wealthier than us and wiser than us and say, hey, what should we do?
Yes.
And then we listen to them.
Absolutely.
And you know how many fucking people I tell to do this shit to? And they're like, oh. And then I see them on Instagram and they have their fucking new Chanel 5mm bag that cost them $8,000. I'm like, what the fuck are you dumb bitch doing?
Well, it's funny because my mentor, Cabot, I use him. He's so smart when it comes to money and business. And when I talk to him about things, I go, oh, is there anything else I should be doing? Or is there anything else I could do better? And he goes, years ago, he said to me, you know something? You're doing great. You actually listen. He goes, I give people advice all the time.
All the time.
If they ask me, and he goes, Matthew, they don't listen.
Yeah.
I go, well, they must be freaking stupid.
Stupid.
Because,
dumb as a bag of dicks.
All of these things with law and business. And if you don't, you know how to pick up the phone and ask somebody that's very intelligent. And I'm just like, I just don't believe that people don't take action.
And that's why he loves you so much for many reasons. But that probably out of all the people that he talks to, you're one of the only people that really actually listen to him.
Listen.
You and Jeremy and like a couple other people, but that's it.
That's it.
So it's like people like us, people like Cabot, people who are wise and they're elders in the community. We get to the place, guys, that we're like, you keep coming to us and you asking us questions and we're giving you fucking free advice and you don't fucking listen. We won't give you more advice.
Yeah.
We're not here as like a Pez fucking dispenser for unsolicited advice where you're not going to fucking use it anyways.
Yeah.
So it's just a waste of my fucking time and my breath.
Yeah.
The next one is, and this is just the fucking fact of the matter, motherfucker, is you're low income. You're not making enough money. And you're on a hamster wheel. And instead of saying like, okay, let me get a side hustle. Let me work a second job. Let me double dip, which is so fucking smart. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what's more painful? You have to choose your pain.
Right.
Is it more painful to be broke at the end of every month and be fucking scraping? Or is it more painful just to go get a side hustle or a second job until you grow your wealth enough that you can kind of back away from that? I hear so many people, they're like so broke and they're always like, oh, I can't afford this and I can't afford that and I can't afford this. And I'm like, dude, you're living on motherfucking Easy Street. They're at the lake every fucking weekend. They're out in the fucking sun. They're taking pictures of their feet in the fucking pool. What the fuck is that?
I can't stand
it. Tell the girls out in Ambitchious Land about the pool situation.
Oh God! So I'm going through my Facebook.
Matt's been bitching a lot about this
because I do Facebook ads, and plus I like to catch up with some friends of mine, from high school and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny. All you see is these women's feet next to the pool where I am with the pictures, of their feet hanging off the
they're living their best lives.
I go, that doesn't look fucking great.
Nope.
What is so great about that?
They're at the pool at the Hojo. With all the other fucking welfare mamas.
I don't want people to know where I am when I'm on vacation.
But it's just like they probably feel so shitty about themselves because their life sucks. But they're like, oh, if I take my little ugly toes and I put them, in the pool, I'm living my best life.
Yes.
You know what? When all you motherfuckers are drinking rosé and you're pretending to be rich, Matt and I are fucking working.
We're working all the time.
We're working.
I love working. Yeah.
We're working. Yeah. And when we are actually having leisure time, we're still talking about work.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're golfing. We're talking about work.
Yeah.
We're at dinner.
There's no balance.
There is no work-life balance. It's integration.
It's integration. Everything is integrated. Yeah.
And that's how you get rich.
Yeah.
Because why should I be like, the rules of the night tonight are, we're talking about work. And then what do we fucking talk about?
Yeah. No.
When we had sex in 1987?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to talk about my damn bush again?
Those were the days.
I'd rather talk about work than my bush.
Oh, my God. I kind of do want to have a whole podcast just about your bush. So, like, if you have time on your hands and you're broke, you are the motherfucking problem. You are the reason why you're a broke ass fucking hoe. And I don't want to fucking hear it.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking hear it. So get a side hustle, double dip, work another job, get off the fucking hamster wheel, and then ask yourself, Like, what does the market right now value? And what are your marketable skills? And how can you show up and give service?
And if you don't have the skills, develop the skills.
This is another thing too, is a lot of people will come to me and they'll say, I want you to mentor me. I want to work with you one-on-one, or I want to do one of your programs. And I'm like, okay, here's how much it is. And they're like, I can't afford that. How much have you and I both done in our lifetime? Spending massive amounts of money to learn from people who are amazing.
I'm always looking to learn.
Stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If you want to have a life like someone, I'm not saying to, copy their lives.
Yeah.
Right, but
learn. And a business program is actually an investment. You get your stuff upside down.
Tell the broke hoes that, Matt. Tell the broke hoes.
And if I'm paying something to learn something, or I'm going to better my life, and it's $1,200, let's say, for sake of conversation, or $1,500. That's an investment. Yeah. I'm going to learn something, and I'm going to probably pick up things that are going to be well worth over $1,500.
Yeah.
Now, if I buy a purse, or if I buy something for $1,500, or I go out to the club and
a bunch of drinks,
3 weeks in a row, and I spend the $1,500, I got nothing from it. I didn't learn anything, and my life is worse because now I'm in $1,500 worth of debt.
That's right.
And there was nothing moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
People have their priorities kind of off, right? Like I pay anything for education.
No coded language here on the Ambitchious Podcast. They're broke hoes.
The broke hoes are paying. The broke hoes are paying. They're paying for all this stuff, and then they're looking at it like, "Oh, I only spent $300 last week.
So what?
I only spent $400." Well, you could have done the damn seminar. You could have gone to that. And I'm not talking about just Katie's seminar. I'm talking about.
No, we're just talking about all my seminars.
All Katie's seminars. Then you can't afford this. You can't afford that. Number one is wealthy people don't say they can't afford anything.
Ooh.
They say, how can I afford this?
How can I afford this?
What is the value I'm going to get out of this?
Can we just say that again? Say that again, please, Big Bernard.
Wealthy people don't say I can't afford it. They say, how can I afford this? How can I make this happen? They have a different mindset and a different way of thinking, communicating, and acting. They don't talk like everybody else.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a crackhead that doesn't have crack?
No.
What do they do?
They get crack.
How do they get crack?
They find a way. They find a way.
Hand jobs, blow jobs.
Whatever they want to do.
Thievery.
Yeah.
Finding money on the fucking road.
Yeah.
They get the crack, right?
They get the crack.
If you want something bad enough, you will do anything that it takes to fucking get that crack.
Yes.
If you're a crackhead.
Yes.
It needs to be the same way.
Yeah.
In this kind of scenario. Like I'll give you an example. Last month for 828P, I had 50 women on a wait list.
Yep.
And I asked them, the ones that didn't sign up, because we had a like
deadline
to chop it, right?
Yep.
And they were like, "Oh, I just couldn't afford it. I just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't afford it."
Yeah.
Is that not an excuse, Matthew?
That's an excuse. It's an excuse, especially if you took the time to say, "I'm interested in this. Don't leave me out of it. I want this particular."
So
thing.
the people that came to me that got on the wait list, did they get on the wait list because they're living their best lives, or not?
No.
They're not, right?
No.
So they're like, I want to be on this wait list because I'm not fucking happy where I am.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So they're not that unhappy?
No.
They're not that unhappy to say, oh, I'm just going to not do these 3 things this month.
And they didn't look at it as an investment.
No.
They would rather say, well, I'm going to spend $300 at the restaurant.
Yes.
I'm going to go get bottle service.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to get that purse.
Yeah. I'm going to drink that wine.
But they have the priorities all fucked
right.
up.
And guess what? They ain't going to live in a bitch's life.
No. You got to get your priorities straight.
And if I'm talking about you, bitch, I don't give a fuck.
It's better than me. It's better than talking about me. That's why I love your career, because I get all the relief when somebody pisses Katie off. Go ahead.
You get the nice Katie.
I get the nice Katie. Yeah.
But if I'm talking about you right now, and you were one of the people that said I couldn't afford it, or you were just really an asshole, and you, after I emailed you and said, hey, the deadline is coming, can I help you with anything? Do you have any questions? And you ignored me, you're a fucking loser.
How do you really feel?
You're a fucking loser. Don't fucking waste my fucking time.
Yeah.
Don't fucking waste my fucking time.
Yeah, because you
just
understand
be a
the
broke
difference.
asshole.
You understand the difference between an investment and you're like, you're going to get so much out of this. It's going to change your life, and it does change people's lives from all walks of life.
Yes.
All walks of life.
In every way, shape, and form.
And it's kind of like, well, they don't see it, so they're not your client anyways. They're not your person, right? They're not your person. So
but should I entertain them?
No.
What do I look like over here? Fucking Bozo the Clown?
No, don't entertain them. But what I'm saying is, They don't understand the difference between investing in something and then just blowing money. They don't.
But then they'll go buy a bunch of crapola.
Yes,
make
of
themselves
course.
fat and ugly.
Yes,
and broke.
Yeah,
good for you.
Pretty much, and then probably owe money on interest.
Oh God, help me, Jesus, Lord, and Joseph.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, hoes, you broke. Anyways, the next one, generational poverty. Both of us came from generational poverty.
Yes.
Where when I was a kid, I didn't know I was broke. I didn't know we were poor.
I didn't know, but it's funny because everyone else knew.
Yeah,
I was meaning not.
Oh, everyone else knew you were broke.
Well, because I grew up in a pretty wealthy community, and I come from humble means. My parents were not.
They weren't the Rockefellers.
They weren't the Rockefellers, but I never knew it because I always had good food. I always thought I was able to do certain things all the time. But it's funny because I'm successful now, and I'll have some of my friends from high school or college will be like, "Oh my God, you're doing so well, Matt! Congratulations! You really came from humble means." I'm like, huh, I knew I was broke.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't know I was broke, and it was funny because I was doing some inner child healing meditation a couple years ago, and I was remembering because my grandmother really was with me more than my own mom and dad because they worked so much.
Yep.
My Nana Pearl.
Yeah,
and I remember she was like, "Oh, do you want a grilled cheese sandwich?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." And I remember she took out this big ass block of yellow cheese, you know, like the long fucking block, and she was cutting the cheese off of it. I didn't know that she was getting welfare.
Welfare cheese.
It was delicious.
It was really good.
But I remember she would have the peanut butter.
Yeah.
And the welfare cheese, and I didn't know it was welfare cheese. Now I'm 41 years old. I know what fucking welfare cheese is.
Right.
But I didn't know that. I just was like, damn, that's a big old block of cheese that bitch
Wow,
bought.
she must be loaded. Look at all the cheese she has.
Right. So,
Right?
I mean, that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
But people will always say to me, like, well, it's easy for you because, you always were. I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, we had to work our asses off.
And generational poverty also is like the languaging, right? Like, I can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
Right? What else? Yeah. What are some of the other things?
I'm not knocking myself off of that money.
Oh,
that's the worst one. Okay, you're not going to knock yourself off of that money. Then you're not going to have any more money because you don't think the boss or whoever you're working for knows you don't give a shit, and you're not going to freaking climb any kind of ladder or get better.
We call that quietly quitting now. In this,
oh really?
Yeah, it's called quietly quitting.
What?
It's like this whole thing that happened during the pandemic, where people are like only doing like they're just what they have to do to get by and not get fired.
Really?
Yeah, this is like a huge epidemic.
Jeez, that's great.
I don't quietly quit. I'm the opposite.
That sounds good.
I'm loudly winning.
I'm loudly winning too.
Right?
And it's funny because if you have any kind of, what do you call it, gumption, you kill it. Because most people are just not going to do anything.
Right.
And if you want to work and you're going to work in the right areas, you'll make a killing.
Yes.
But you have to have the initiative and you have to have the gumption. You have to know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Right?
The next one is one of my favorite ones. Where
we're starting all over again right now.
Here we go. Here we go.
That'd be good.
Famous doesn't equal wealthy.
No.
So a lot of you motherfuckers out there see these Instagram people and these influencers and all this shit, and you're like, wow, look at all the free shit they get. Wow, look at all the followers. Well, guess what? I coach one of the biggest reality television stars, okay? She has millions of followers on Instagram, and she has like tons of makeup line. She has this line, that line, this line, that line. And I always say to her, how much do you make a month from your Instagram sales? She goes, I don't make any.
Wow.
Okay.
That's not good.
10% of my income a month comes from Instagram. Okay. So I only have 5,000 and change followers. Mm-hmm. She has 5 million followers. I make more money than she does with 5,000 followers.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter, guys. All these people who are like Real Housewives and famous people, they're fucking broke. Look at Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp is the Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's bankrupt.
Because he was spending how much on wine a month?
$37,000 a month on wine.
Can you fucking imagine? I mean, I love me some Johnny Depp. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking shit. I love Johnny Depp.
I love him. But I mean,
but he's a broke hoe.
Hundreds of millions of dollars and be broke?
The fuck?
That's a problem.
Well, the devil loves it.
Yeah.
The devil wants you to drift.
Absolutely.
The devil wants you to drink and spend all your money on this crap, right? Yeah. And do drugs and just be an asshole because one more person for him.
Yeah.
Check.
Check.
Right?
Yeah.
So just because you're famous or you're an Instagrammer or you're a fucking influencer does not mean that you have money.
No.
So don't equate that like, oh, I have to become this in that arena to make money. No, you don't. Because guess what? The wealthiest people I know, and I'm talking about billionaires, you would not know them off the fucking side of the road, would you?
No, they just blend in.
We just really, because like the guy fucking you're buying him sandwiches because you think he's fucking
He was blending
homeless,
in. He was
right?
like, oh, I'm looking at my property. I love my property.
Right?
Yeah.
The next two kind of come in the same vein, and we've kind of touched upon this already, but you have too much car or your house poor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
good.
I remember I dated a guy, and Matt loves this story. I dated a guy years ago, and he always loved cars, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he told me, your car payment should be what you make in a week.
Wow.
So let's just say you make, $4,000 a month. That means you make $1,000 a week. So it's okay if you were paying $1,000 for your car.
For a car payment.
Are you fucking
And
kidding
that's
me?
not insuring
A
it or
quarter
anything.
of your fucking income goes to a car,
Not good.
right? Or your house poor,
Yeah.
right? So all these people, they want to, like you said before, keep up with the Joneses,
Big, huge house. And it happens everywhere. It's
and they have
more.
no fucking furniture.
They have no furniture.
We're
No
friends with a
furniture.
lot of people, a lot of police officers in Wyndham. And they always say, oh, man, you see these like big homes. They're like mansions in Wyndham because we live in a very affluent area. And what happens?
I was surprised. I was shocked. Like, oh, they don't have any furniture or anything like that. And I'm
Yep.
like, I had no idea.
Yep.
I had no idea.
No furniture in the
No,
fucking house.
no.
So you're living in this mega mansion. There's not a stitch of furniture in your fucking house.
Yeah, no.
You're a fucking loser. For what reason? Fucking bums, dude. Bums. The next one is you're just too fucking comfortable. You're lazy. You're a creature of habit. You are like, oh, I don't want to start a side hustle. It's too much work. Oh, I don't want to go back to school. Oh, I don't want to pay for that program to learn how to do this thing or whatever. You're a lazy fucking bitch.
That laziness is a big thing.
Laziness.
Yeah, it takes
and comfort.
not good. You get too
Anything
comfortable.
that comes from a comfort zone is BAD. And you're just a complacent bitch. That's it. That's one of your problems. Should we elaborate? I don't really feel like we
tell
should.
them to do something about it.
I will on the next podcast.
All right.
Well, you and I will. The next one is
Help them out.
I'm trying.
God's sakes, I'm getting depressed.
I know, dude. And I know
I'm going to get another side hustle.
I have to. I think I'm going to go after this. I'm going to go
God,
back to work.
I got to get my shit together.
For real. I think I'm going to go back to
This is
work.
bringing up the things the way I used to be. That's
Dude,
why. Because
same.
it's very triggering to me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, oh my God, I used to do that. Oh my God, I could do that. And you know something? You could go back slow. You could actually, I'm not that far removed. And in my mind, I'm like, oh boy, that could happen to me again.
Yes.
Right? It's
Yeah.
never going to happen again.
No,
But
well,
what I'm
never.
saying
But
is-
like, you should feel that way. You
Yeah.
should be like, oh my God, I can never allow myself to get like this because I'm one fucking cunt hair away from being that loser again.
could.
I'm sorry, you
Yeah,
have to.
You can't. If it could happen to Johnny Depp and have hundreds of millions of dollars,
Happen
it
to
can
anyone.
happen to anybody.
Absolutely. The next one is you think that you have to work hard to make money. This is a huge misconception.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Pareto principle. 80% of the wealth is usually from 20% of the work.
Yes.
The biggest
good.
money makers that I've ever created in my life have come from minimal amounts of work.
Yeah.
And when anything was like too pushy or too overwhelming, it was like a loser.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we know so many people, including ourselves, that we don't really work that hard.
No.
I'm not trying to be an ass.
I'm not saying
It's
that.
we're not
we don't think
physically
sometimes
working
Sometimes
that.
it's not hard, but it is for some people.
Not
Like
us.
what I think is hard.
Yeah, but we love
is
what we
not-
do.
Yeah, I love what we do. But meaning what I'm saying is some people couldn't live in our shoes every day and do
No,
what we
they'd
do.
kill themselves.
Right? They couldn't do what we
No,
do.
they'd off
It's
themselves.
you have to be a certain kind of person, but we also built up our muscles to be
Yes.
able to take more
Yes.
on
Yes.
opposed to
What you're saying is the amount of shit that we go through on a daily basis. The
Yeah,
average person
yeah.
couldn't handle
No,
that
no,
mental
I
load.
don't think so.
No,
because
I agree.
It took me a long time to be able to handle.
Oh yeah.
To take bites and understand things and do things. But I got started, and I think the hardest part is to get the people started. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's so much opportunity right now in this country. It is so much
In this
opportunity
world.
In this world, there's so much opportunity, and it's like I just look and I'm like, wow, why aren't they doing anything about it?
Yeah.
You know?
I had a girl the other day on my Instagram said like, I'm just barely making ends meet and I'm just trying to survive out there. And you're talking about like, doing all this shit. And I'm like, well, that's your perspective.
Yeah,
If you're saying I'm just fucking trying to survive, then you're just going to
you're
survive.
gonna survive.
Right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
In me 10 years ago in my business, if someone would have come to me and said like, your program doesn't work, your H2AP program doesn't work, or Ambitchious Academy doesn't work, or your healing sessions don't work, I would fall apart. I'd be
Yeah.
like, what's wrong with me? I got to get better. Now I just know these people are lazy, good for nothing,
And it
bullshit
does work.
artists.
And you have so many testimonials and so many people that have gotten success.
But it's not me,
from
it's them.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they don't want to do the fucking work.
No.
They don't want to sacrifice.
You can't do it for them.
No, I
can't
wish.
do it for 'em.
I wish.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it goes. So the next one is, like I said, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? So you go on social media, you see everybody's in Europe for the summer. They're on a boat. They're like fucking T-Pain. I'm on a boat, right? It's not even their fucking boat,
No.
right? They blew some guy the night before, and the guy's like, "Hey, would you like to come on my boat?" And you're like, "All right, all right." You know,
right,
what?
I'm on the
Okay,
boat.
come on the boat, honey. Come on the boat. Or, you know, they're pretending to fly first class. Or my favorite is when people like in Boston, you know, there's a lot of nice cars like on Newbury Street. And people will like pose in front of people's Bugattis and shit, like it's theirs.
Yeah.
Or they'll like, you know, go to the airport and they like pose in front of like a private jet that it's not their fucking jet.
No.
So people go, "Oh my God, this person's on first class. Oh, this person's in Greece. This person's over here. This person's over there." It's all lies.
Yeah.
It's all
lies.
smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
And you have FOMO from something that's literally not even real.
People that do have that stuff, they don't, unless they're an influencer or something like that, they don't show it.
No.
They're like, I don't want anyone to know I'm
No.
doing this. I don't want anyone to know that I'm over here
That's
and I'm
right.
not paying attention to my business for a couple of days or whatever. They don't tell you shit.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
They just go about their day and move on, and they're not taking pictures of it. They're too busy living it.
That's right. Abso-fucking-lutely. And the last one is why you're a broke hoe is you hang around with a bunch of broke hoes. And it's just the broke hoe convention.
It's a broke hoe convention.
Right? And
Yeah,
everyone's
not good.
like fucking dressed up in all their fucking clothes and with their shoes, and they don't have two fucking nickels to rub together.
No nickels. No nickels.
No.
And then they're just, you know, trying to live something that they're not.
That's right.
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely. So how many of these, and I don't know how many there was a lot.
It was a lot.
But how many of these could you really hold the mirror up to yourself and be radically honest with yourself?
I had them all. So, guys, you can't be as bad as me.
No,
Nobody's
I
as
had them
bad.
all too.
I had
That's
them
what.
all.
Where do you think I fucking came up with
No,
all
because
this
we
shit?
came up, we talked about it, and we said these are the things.
Because I've done it all.
We've done it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I've done it all. So that's why I'm saying to you, we have to cut the shit. So on next week's podcast, Big Bernard will be back, and we're actually going to be giving you guys all the ways to combat this broke hoe bullshit and combat and fix this broke hoe bullshit so you can change your finances for the rest of your life and you can be the rich bitch that God and the universe put you here to be. Or not. Just be a broke hoe for the rest of your life, but I'm not going to be your friend. I ain't going to be hanging out with you. And you're just going to hang out with the broke hoe brigade for the rest of your damn life.
And it's not that they're a bad brigade, but it's just that, you know, they're not going to
Speak
go
for
anywhere.
yourself, Matt. You wouldn't be hanging out with them, so don't fucking...
I wouldn't be hanging out with them, but I don't think they're bad.
They are. Ew.
All right, Katie.
They're bad.
Yeah.
If you're a broke hoe, you
Stop
got
being a
problems.
bad broke hoe.
Bad broke hoe. Bad broke hoe. All right, in the meantime, don't forget to stay ambitious. I will see you next Tuesday, and stop being a fucking broke hoe.
Stop being a broke hoe.
Just stop being a broke
We're
hoe.
going to come back and I'm going to show you how not to be a broke hoe.
All right, love you guys.